Hello girls, gays, and non-binary babes. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Boston. Today we're talking about dark academia. So I made this video a while back and it's doing really well. However, I'm not quite content with it, so I wanted to remake it. So this is kind of a remake, but also a new video, because any new dark academia that I have read and loved will be added to this video. So it's kind of the same, but if you did watch that one, there might be a couple new books in here. So I'm super excited to talk about these books. Dark academia is my favorite genre and I absolutely adore it. These are all the ones that I just really love enough to have on my shelves, so if there's any that you really love, feel free to leave them down below. Chances are I have read it, but I just don't own it, so yeah, we're just gonna talk about the ones that I own today. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. So these are going to be separated into sections. I do want to talk about kind of the staples first. You can't make a dark academia video without talking about these ones, so I will be talking about them, but very briefly. Feel free to skip ahead if you are not a newbie to dark academia. The first book I have here is The Picture of Dorian Gray. This is a classic. This is by Oscar Wilde, and this is less dark academia, but it still is considered dark academia by a lot of people, so that's why I did include it. This follows a man who has his portrait painted, and this portrait is a little different than regular portraits. It shows what he truly looks like, I suppose, and he commits a bunch of heinous acts throughout his life, and his picture shows his grisly, what he turns into, the monster he turns into, but he does not age and he does not show this. His picture does. So it's very good. I really like this one. It's pretty short, so it's pretty easy to get through, and I highly recommend it if you're into classics and gothic literature. The next classic I have is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. You can see that my copy is very tabbed up. I've read this so many times. I adore it. Frankenstein is absolutely classic to dark academia and gothic literature in general. This follows a man who goes to medical school, and he takes it upon himself to create a monster. And I'm sure you know the story of Frankenstein. It's incredible, and the story is so powerful, and I absolutely adore it. Again, another short one, so won't take you much time at all, and definitely a classic and a staple for dark academia. So now we're going to get into more modern dark academia, and we're going to start with the one that started it all, The Secret History by Donna Tartt. If you know dark academia, you know this book. It's a classic. It's a modern classic. Everybody knows about it. Everybody's talking about it. And for good reason. This is a very excellent book, and it's a lot of fun. It's very big. The chapters are incredibly long, so I don't actually recommend this if you're just starting out, but I put it in this section because a lot of people know about it and love it. So yeah, I don't recommend starting with this one. I will get to a book that I do recommend starting with, and we'll talk about that later. But this one's very, very good. It is a little bit more on the dense side, so if you're okay with that, then feel free to read it. But overall, very good. It's about a group of students in a very elite kind of class, I believe. It's some sort of, they're in this classics class together, and they form a little group and things start happening. It's a lot of fun. I really like this one, and obviously everybody knows about it, so I won't linger on it. Okay, so the next book I have to talk about is another super popular one, and that is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This follows a woman going to Yale, and she discovers some secret societies within this school. There's magic in this one if you like that, and It's a little bit more on the dense side, but still a lot of fun and really dark and mysterious, like dark academia is supposed to be. There is a lot of drug use and a lot of triggering topics in this one, so do look up the trigger warnings. I cannot remember them all, so if there's something that you're concerned about, then definitely look it up because it is probably gonna be in here. But yeah, everybody knows about this, so I won't linger, but it is very good and I do really like it. So the next book I'm gonna talk about is the one I actually recommend people start out with. Or at least in the beginning of their journey. I don't know how popular this one is outside of BookTube, the bookish community on here. I have heard people talking about it, so I don't know if this is as popular as like The Secret History or whatnot, but I will mention it now, and that is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This is like The Secret History, but a lot easier to follow. It's shorter and it's not quite as dense, so that's why I recommend it for newbies, or just in general if you haven't read it. This is one of my favorite books of all time. It is incredible. It follows a group of students going to this very elite art school, and they are in the theater section and they perform Shakespeare plays. That is like solely what they do, and there's a little bit of murder, a little bit of mystery, and it is definitely interesting. It's one of the best books I have ever read, and it is a modern masterpiece, truly. It's incredible, and if you have not read it, you definitely need to, especially if you like dark academia. Okay, so now I want to talk about the other books that I have, which are lesser known. We're going to start with the adult books, and then I do have 2 YA that I will talk about at the end. So the next book I have to talk about is They Never Learn by Lane Fargo, another one of my favorite books of all time. This is a revenge fantasy, and it follows 2 points of view, and one is a woman who is teaching at this school. She's a professor, and she's taking it upon herself to eliminate some of the horrible men on campus. And the other point of view is a girl who is going to the school and her experience at the school. So this is absolutely incredible. If you like a good revenge fantasy, pick this one up. Trigger warnings obviously for sexual assault and all that sort of thing, so be aware of that, but absolutely incredible and highly recommend. Again, I don't know how popular this one is outside of BookTube, but it is picking up some traction within BookTube now, so I'm very happy about that. It's absolutely incredible. The next book that I have to talk about, I should have put this in my everybody kind of knows about it section, but it's still technically self-published. But that is The Atlas 6, you may have guessed, by Olivia Blake. This is being published in like hardcover, like big name publishers, and I am so excited for Olivia Blake. I cannot imagine how excited she feels right now, and this is such a deserving book, and we're gonna be getting more of them now, which, oh my god, thank you TikTok and BookTube, because I need more of these books. This is a dark academia, again with magic, and it follows a group of students, or a group of 20-something-year-olds, and they are chosen to, I guess, compete for a secret society of magical, what are they called? Academicians, like academia magicians. And it's so incredible. All of the characters are so rich and complex and fun, and I adore this book. I don't think I need to talk about it for long because everybody and their mother has been talking about this, but if you have not heard about it or haven't read it, get on it because it's time. The next book I have is kind of a border between adult and young adult, and that's why it's in this position, because this is the last adult book that I have, but I don't know if it's adult or young adult. I think it's adult, but it almost kind of reads young. It reads a little bit younger for adult. It's like new adult. If new adult were a thing, alas, it is not. But that is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. And this is a dark academia, but also mixed with a thriller. So it's told in 2 timelines. One takes place in like a while back. I can't quite remember, but like early, maybe like late 1800s, 1890s, maybe something like that. And the other one is present day. And the original story is these girls going to this school that is haunted, and it is sapphic, of course. And the more modern timeline follows a bunch of actors that are creating the film for this movie, and weird things are happening. It's very good. I highly recommend this one. It is quite chunky, so be aware of that. But it's a lot of fun, and I really like it. And this one's not too dark academia. Like I said, only 1 timeline is, so just know that. But it is still dark academia, and it is still wonderful. The next book I have, and the first YA book that I have, is A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. This follows a girl who is going to a very elite school, and she has just lost her best friend in the prior year. So she's still kind of going through that and dealing with the grief of that. But there is a new girl at school this year, and she's a really famous writer, and she kind of befriends this writer, our main character does, and the writer's a little bit of an oddball, and there's a little bit of witchcraft in this one, and it's a lot of fun. It's super dark. The plot twist is incredible, and I really like it. It's fun. YA dark academia is not usually my jam, but I really liked this one. Normally I do like books on the very dark side, and YA can't really do that all the time, but this one's really good. Also for newbies, beginners, what have you, and I highly recommend it. Okay, the final book I have to talk about is Stags by M.A. Bennett. This is a good one if you like the movie Ready or Not. So this follows a girl going to an elite boarding school, and she's kind of an oddball. She's an outcast. She doesn't really have many friends. And one day she is invited to a weekend party at the like really popular kid's house, and it's like a hunting party, and that's all I'll say. I mean, I'm sure you can glean the rest from it, but it's really good. I really liked it. It does read a little young, so if you like that or are okay with that, then pick this one up. It's really good, it's fun, and it's dark. Certainly it's dark. That is going to do it for my dark academia recommendations. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you got at least something from this video. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.